NiP's turn to ban. Radiant team pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. NiP's turn to pick.
Lena.
Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. You may now select your heroes.
А ну-ка иди сюда! А вот все. Все?
跳走了，跳走了。
This pleases me to no end. Yes, this will do just fine.
Yes, hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to what's going to be game one of the best of three between 5men and NiP. I'm OD.Pixel, joined by Fog. Fog, we've just seen the draft, we've heard what the analysts have to say. Do you sort of agree? Of a hand that may be slightly less favourable than the hand that NiP, 5men's brought to the fray today. As we'll see ourselves getting into the action. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Game one, ready to go. So, as you say, the Timber, this hero, definitely potential this game to become that unkillable beast. Looking at the lane setups that we're going to get coming out, is there any other sort of areas of the map where you can see NiP having a good enough start to get some sort of counter snowballing going and make sure that the 5men don't get out of control?
Geez, not too much, to be totally honest with you. I think maybe if they can get some type of weird plays coming down bottom, like with this Magnus and Tiny, just some toss-back skewer plays, perhaps they can catch them up there. But no, I think actually all their lanes are... I feel like 5men just has themselves set up for very solid lanes. Lifestealer still can farm up top is the one thing, because he has this Warlock behind him, but they're never going to shut down a Timber. So at least he'll be able to get up top there, but I don't think he'll ever really be able to slow these two down. Which, because you have a Timber up there, now you have this Spirit Breaker. Timber's going to get left alone at one point. Misery's going to get the map opened, and then a Spirit Breaker Lina making early moves. Can definitely put pressure, especially on the Void Spirit.
The mid lane, Misery coming crashing in as the Space Cat, and the bottom lane as well, right? If he joins forces with the Gyro IO, there's going to be kill potential down there as well. So a lot of options for Misery across the map when it sort of hits that. Well, I mean, just very early on. I mean, he hits level 2 and he's already going to be keeping his eyes open for opportunities.
Absolutely. And I see this build by Pile I Die. I've seen this a couple times now on the IOs. They just start Bracer and they get your Tango and you share it. Bracer gives you so much value on a hero like IO. You're not only just like tanky, but you're a strength hero, so you get double bonus. You get this little bit of damage, and you get like regen for your tether target. I love it. And he's just like this Tiny now. You know, it's a little weirder to go on a 640 HP hero a lot of the times, but Bracer's always going to make it not as valuable.
Yeah, that's interesting, because I feel like I've heard people say, I mean, obviously it's not been on a support IO, but for a lot of other heroes like Bracer, the value's not quite there. But you feel like it still absolutely works in these sort of situations where you're playing against high early burst.
Absolutely. And I think like with the lane too, this is what I've seen like a lot of teams do is you start overcharge, right? Like tether level 1's kind of pointless, and you benefit so much from the damage. So it's nice. You actually can do some zoning and stuff as an IO, which is not really the usual.
See out the matchups going on elsewhere in the mid lane. Chessie and Supreme, 5 for 1, 2 for 2. We'll see how Supreme's going to do his best to try and play around the Light Strike raid, but Chessie on the Lina, one of his finest heroes in the mid lane. One of the classics, of course, from back from his Hon days. Chessie's going to be able to do very well with this stun against a melee core in the mid lane early on. Yeah, tough
matchup for Supreme. He's going to just have to try to play around those dodges. Chessie also going to get the D ward too, so a little bit more experience going his way, a little bit more gold too. He'll be off to a fantastic start. Top, we saw the Fatal Bond's actually doing a decent amount of work to Zippe, but like we said, this lane, it's gonna get to the point where Timber just does fine. I think that's like, Top's a boring lane.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, what Zippe, I mean, already, you know, it's not like they're going to kill him. Where does sort of the Warlock come into play? Where can Misha find his levels? Because is his job just to sort of sit top and heal up the Lifestealer when required in the laning stage? Like, what can the Warlock do early on? Just pull.
Yep, that's all you gotta do. Get your levels. Maximize, make sure Lifestealer's getting all that solo XP, make sure you're getting a good chunk of XP too for yourself. Because the thing is, like, Spirit Breaker versus Warlock, Spirit Breaker can't do too much. Like, Warlock is gonna hit you. You can never go aggressive. The Misery is just kind of just leeching experience and stuff like that.
Looking at how we're seeing the CS fair for Ace down bottom. No trouble at all, 11 and 5. handle the lane. It will now start coming into the tower, so Sableye should be able to pick himself up some CS in a safer position. I mean, that is if he
Not
can
much,
get them.
though.
I mean, yeah, these range creeps getting messed with by the tower hits, so actually, yeah, this pressure of the tower, he might not be dying, but he's certainly not farming. You know, just 6 CS so far on this offlane Magnus. Not the greatest of starts for Sableye.
Yeah, not too big of a fan of offlane Magnus personally. Really, I've seen like mostly played in like the 5 position, right? I feel like a lot of the times he just gets so shut down. He doesn't really contribute much to lane, and then you literally just give a free farm to their carry when you have this Magnus in the offlane for the majority. Especially if you don't have a ranged hero with it, right? Like if you have somebody doing power, like a Lina, a Wind Ranger, you can actually play a little more aggressive. But with a Tiny, no way you're gonna get aggro down here, unless you get tossed.
Not at all. Yeah, and it definitely feels like you can sort of see a future this game where Sableye does purely become sort of this Magnus that's sitting in the bottom half of net worth, and he's just offering up in power to the Lifesteal and the Void Spirit, and not a lot you can do on his own. But we'll see. Yeah. We'll see what sort of way Sableye can pick his game up, but definitely a tough start for him at the moment on that offlane as the Magnus.
Look at mid, Era, he's walking to try to make a movement, but it's under a ward. Charge already coming through for Misery. They're checking the runes.
See where it's going to end up. It's going to be top. Supreme going to be able to get himself bottled up. Very nice one. If he's able to get the 6 in time before he's having to pop that rune, definitely solid potential for him to make moves on the side lanes. Bottom lane, Sableye getting harassed pretty low here by the Rocket Barrage. Missile's going to be heading inbound. Going to mean that Sableye's going to have to take the long walk back to base, so more time where Sableye's just not going to have the opportunity to get much at all out of the bottom lane.
Top tower.
Trying to get aggro on mid. Not Jesse.
I see there's Jesse turning. He's able to get the stun. The first blood will end up going up on our top lanes. Both Zibe and Misery were able to focus down on Misha as Misery charged up to join forces with him. That mid lane as well, some big aggression. It's going to force Chessie to move back to base. The long walk map down the lane, so not a kill, but still Supreme opening himself up a bit of free time and space to get his level 6. She's just about to creep away from that. As the Void Spirit. Hold on! They're both up there.
Double.
I mean, the double clip. It's happened. Pie's out. He's able to get away with the TP. Ace still holding on to his. He's going to go for it now. But Era's stuck. They've got the vision. They've got the toss. That's the TP cancelled. He's stuck there. He's stuck there.
He's actually stuck there.
What's he going? There's nothing they can do. What can they do? Can't do anything.
Okay, well, that's how you fix your lane. That's how you fix the Magnus off lane. That's why you put it off lane.
He's stuck there for a whole minute, and there's nothing he can do.
Oh, look at Pie. Pie's bringing in creeps. That's what you can do. Drag the creeps to the cliff.
Oh no, Ace! I mean, you're right. This is exactly what they needed. This was a tough start for NiP, but then they went and clipped the carry and cancelled his TP when he tried to leave the cliff.
Yep.
Oh.
Supreme getting aggressive. Chessie, Misery's there though.
Chessie trying to turn around and see if he can follow up Misery's charge onto Supreme. He's going to have the light strike. Can he get himself a break? He doesn't even need to. Just pops out the Laguna. No Dissimilate or Astral Step available, so at the time there's no further way for the Supreme to get away. But yeah, down bottom. I mean, they're going to be keeping track of this, right? Yeah, you're going to wait until Ace has the TP ready again, and then what do? You kill him, or you're just going to try and cancel his TP for a second time, right?
Just guard him. They have to like bodyguard him or something to be able to bring him. Or maybe, you know what? Get Pie level 6 and he just relocates him off there.
I mean, that's what they...
Oh, no, he put him down! Sableye, he shockwaved him down!
Why did he do that?
He was trying to move the IO up there with like a shockwave push. He just messed up.
He just...
Oh, no. All that
they
hard
could have
work.
left him there! They could have cancelled his TP a second time, but Sableye says, no, I'll let you down with a shockwave. Oh, no. Oh,
Mercy.
They had him on the cliff, folks. They had him on the cliff. They could have left him on the cliff. They could have kept him on the cliff. But Sableye says, I'll help you out.
Middle tower.
What's he doing?
Miscalculation of fast range of that shockwave, I believe. Oh, Ace. Getting dove though. They're high level bottom now because of this lane.
They're going to try and get a kill here. Getting in underneath the tower. Pie. He's going to get a 7. He's going to be able to jump across the side. Sableye.
Nice.
Get the skewer. But we'll break the tether and we'll kill off Highlighter. Keep the pressure on the bottom lane.
Under attack.
But yeah,
very nice.
Pressure on Sableye to make sure he comes up with some big stuff. Otherwise, the team might be a little annoyed with him. So his,
He's the one who put them up on that cliff in the first place.
I mean, that's
You know,
true. It was his play to
Radiant's
reverse,
bottom
and he did.
tower has fallen.
Well, there we go.
Alright,
They get the bottom tower here.
Yeah. And that changed a decent amount, right? Now, because he's almost level 6. He was, like, really shut down on this Magnus. Gyro has gotten no CS in the last 3 minutes
Dyer's
almost. He's been
top
sitting at
tower is
24,
under
26 for the entirety of that time. So, yeah, pretty huge.
You for my
Chessie here. Chessie got the back foot pie. Back he's going to turn over towards Era. Laguna blades out, and Era falls to the ground. Over towards Supreme, and there you go. Chessie lands another stun. He's going to be able to continue to chase down Misha with this arcane rune going. He's going to have spells to go. A second stun comes out. Misha goes down. Double kill for Chessie. Over in the river, though, Supreme's able to get the cleanup on the back lines. The 2 supports taken out by Supreme. As he's trying to chase, but cannot quite get on top of Supreme as Supreme heads back onto the tower. So both mids able to pop off a little bit there with a double kill for each of them.
Chessie could have bailed on his 2 supports, though. I feel like if he's stuck with the 2 of them there, maybe Supreme doesn't get a kill. Right? He just gave Supreme 2 kills there because he goes for a Warlock kill.
I mean, that is true, because Supreme was out of mana as well. He had to use his full combo to kill the supports. Chessie almost certainly been in a position to continue to just lay down the last strike raise with that arcane rune and kill off Supreme. So yeah, missed opportunity there for sure.
It's a level 3 Warlock too, right? So it's just like, you're not getting a whole lot out of that kill. Sure, it's still kill, which is great, but I feel like it could have helped out his supports there. That's like what, if in a situation for me, like, I'd be like, my core, no, like, don't leave me. No. Zib able to take the top tower during that whole entire time, though.
Top lane's been a bit quiet, really. That's sort of the kind of Timber likes to live in. You know, Zibe, he's been having all the CS. Very good, solid farm for him right now. Yeah, he's done his job top. He'll shift over towards the mid. Charlie's trying to get some space in the jungle. He's closing in. I say closing in. He's still about 900 gold away from that armlet.
Yeah.
Not a bad timing. Yeah, well, once he has the armlet done, who are you looking to sort of get aggro on? Is he going to be jumping in Supreme, looking to combo up with the Void Spirit to get some of these kills?
I think he can, if he wants to, he can. I think they just have to rely really around that Warlock Golem if they try to take fights, because it's still going to be hard to fight into this Timber Saw and this Lina. It's still very strong draft from 5-man, even though they got a little stunted because of being cliffed a little. You still see they're at a 2k advantage off the laning phase, and they have a very strong team fight when they do group up together on the Gyro. Levels also on the side of NiP are a bit lacking. Level 4 on both of these supports. I think the Courier is bringing it home, but okay, interesting. And Supreme's actually going to go for a Rush Vessel this game, since he's versus both Timber and Io. Makes sense. They do need one. They would like one on their team, so big cold gold
someone's got to get it, and I guess but nobody else is going to be able to get anywhere near that sort of farm at a good time. And as it comes to dispels, of course, 5-man, they don't have anything. They are going to have to itemize against that. On the heroes, but obviously down the line, Zibe likely to pick up a Lotus, but it's a long time away. So if you do get that good vessel timing from Supreme this game, a lot of aggro plays they can try for. They're going to look to try and get in onto Chessie on the mid lane. Skills to dodge the initial go. They'll still burst him down, the 4 of them moving in on the Lina mid. Zibe unable to push NiP away. They try and chase down Supreme, but Supreme's still the charge with the step available. He's out of there. I'm able to get these kills from the Lina, and both of these mid laners, the Lina and the Void Spirit, very much heroes that can fall behind. So big moves here from NiP to just try and shut down Chessie and make sure that he's not getting the space to move around and make plays with the Laguna.
Yeah, they capitalized the moment he went onto the high ground there, actually. Zippe was kind of jungling to walk over to meet him, and Chessie took like 1 step too far forward. Yeah. If he waits maybe 5 seconds to go up on the high ground there, Zippe is probably going to be the one that takes all the spells, and they end up doing fine there. So nice heads up move by NiP. But now Zippe, yeah, he turns up, powers that.
They're going to charge in onto Saberlight here. Saberlight going to turn, drag ace back. The cooldown's out, 3 of them. Charlie jumps out to look for Zippe, but Zippe is came across. Saberlight falling low, he's going to go down. The Shadow Web will not save Saberlight, but Chessie, he commits deep for that. Will die for it. Meanwhile, behind the tower, Zippe was able to stay on top of Misha, burst down the Warlock. Quite not over quite yet as NiP. They're trying to chase for Pi. Pi's going to be out in a second with the relocate. Is he out in time? He's not. Charlie able to get the last swipe in to take out the Io and pick up the double.
He was dead on the relocate anyway. Arrow was standing on top of it. I think he tried to save Chessie because Chessie committed so hard for the kill. Ends up getting both of them taken out there. Ace does survive though, the big one. Jibe now, kind of far forward, like we said, he's pretty.
They can't kill him, yeah.
And NiP, that's like a pretty decent fight. They didn't have their ults or anything. They didn't have to really commit too much. And yeah, Warlock Golem, he's what, 5 experience away from having it. So yeah, now their turn. Smoke up, look for an aggressive play. Try to smoke to the gyro, usually, is what you want to do.
That's the one you want. Yeah, Ace is trying to go for this build that's going to help him farm, help him scale against a lifesteal with Empower. You know, he's getting this Ag straight away.
And they don't have vision in the enemy jungle at the moment. And that smoke, I didn't see if it was caught by the ward that 5men had. It was very close on the side of it there, so they might be aware this is happening. Yeah, they're drawing some lines in there.
Yeah, you're right. Misery's scribbled it entirely on the map. Knows that they're sitting here behind this tower.
Misha hits level 6, guard down. He's spotting them now.
Yeah, his combo with the bonds and the veil will do a lot. Man, they just continue to play it safe.
They see them now, though,
set something up
wards.
themselves. Yep.
Charges
they're underneath Supreme and Misha. They're going to need some help. Era's on his way over, but they're going to be outnumbered by looks of it by the side of Pipe Man as Ace and Pipe. They're on top of Misha. Misha won't get the chance to drop the Golem. But that's the Warlock. The best thing that NiP could do right now is just get everybody else out of here, and they'll be able to do that. So unsuccessful with the smoke movement, but able to make sure they don't lose anything more than just the Warlock for now. Supreme is to be charged, but the charge will be cancelled as he heads up to the high ground, and Misery doesn't want to try and push his luck into the jungle of NiP.
Great disengage. Losing Warlock, don't use ult. Give time for Lifestealer and Magnus to farm their needed items, in particular that Mag Blink, so he can feel more comfortable. Because right now their initiation is really lackluster on the side of NiP, so they really need at least one of those two. The Magnus or the Tiny to have it. Never want to just lead with a Golem, unless it's like this godly position. You want someone else to start the chaos. So we're getting close to those two, so we'll see if 5men does look to make a little bit of aggressive move still in the meantime, and they are.
From Saberlight and Varsolate the Magnus, and there is nobody else here to help him. Entirely surrounded by 5men. Now Saberlight going down at a painful moment in the bank as well, was closing in on the Blink Dagger. Death put him back at 100.
Right next to Roche, though. They're
going to try for it.
Okay.
I mean, look at that.
Very fast.
I mean, they tank it though, right? It's pretty safe.
Yeah, they do.
And there's no Magnus, no RP.
It looks pretty good. All of NiP is on the right side of the map. They're not aware of this. Now they're getting scan off foot.
They're not going though. They're not going. They don't want to try and push them away. They're not even starting to head over towards it. They're just going to let 5men take this one. So not only a kill on the map, an Aegis as well for Chessie. Certainly necessary. We've seen how aggressive Chessie's like to play this game so far. Now he's going to have the Aegis to back him up when he does go for these plays where he's committing into towers to finish off the kills.
That's crazy. I can't believe they actually get it off like that. With these aggressive wards, they see Charlie, they see no rotations. They saw the opportunity, even though there's still like the Warlock they have to worry about. They didn't. Very confident.
Well, Supreme, I believe, got with the full vessel done, so now have that extra bit of damage output and healing control against these heroes.
Ooh, Chessie's a speedy boy. Boots of Travel, Yules, and Faded Brooch. 440 without any Fiery Soul stacks.
Nice, the dream. You're going to be chasing for days. Suddenly these heroes with the mobility, these skewers, these steps, it's not necessarily going to guarantee you with this sort of movement speed. Chessie can stay on top of you. NiP, they're all back up. They want to go for a smoke. Despite 5men have the Aegis, NiP still feeling that they've got a solid fight, and with all their ultimates good to go, they're going to look to Pipe. Pipe should be found there. He will go down. Ace is going to try and go for the charge incoming as well onto Supreme. The Golem is going to be dropped in an attempt to disengage, but they're able to step quickly past the Golem. Spade keeping Era trapped inside the pit, takes down a second. Light strike away from Chessie, catches onto Misha, leaves Misha to be finished off by Misery as he tries to for Saberlight. Saberlight's already out of there into the shadows. He'll get away, but NiP, they still lose 3 there. And also with the committal of the chaotic offering as well. That's gone.
Yeah. Huh. That was... I'm wondering why they were trying to smoke into that area. Like, I maybe trying to get a ward down or something, but it looked like they were just looking to just commit for a fight. But that is this is like the scariest place in the game to try to make those smokes. Walking up into high ground line. It's surprising that they go for that there when they know, like, look at how mobile 5 men's draft is. You have a Lina with bots and you have a Spirit Breaker. They're always gonna be there to outnumber you if you don't bring the numbers. And they only brought 3 there. That was a very curious move there. Maybe just trying to catch him off guard, but
with the ult gone, you look at NiP's lineup. Can they really afford to try and take a 5-man when they don't have that Warlock ult? Like, how important is that for them in this sort of game right now?
It's like everything because they don't have their other. Okay, they do have the blink of the mag, but they don't have blink on Tiny or anything like that too. It's really important to have that. They at least still have the Fiddle Bonds and the Veil, and they still have like from the Magnus. They do have some damage if they do land it, but it's just tough to land these spells. These heroes are not playing on top of each other. Lina's so mobile. Gyro always away from the team. They're just not giving them the opportunities.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
NiP, you start pushing in again onto the tier 1 mid. Zipe's over to the TP though. 5 men more than happy to defend this full setup. End the stun onto Supreme, but they got it up first. The Laguna Blade, it close. It's not enough. Supreme jumping out to the side. And Missile will be heading his way, but he's already being healed up. Finally, the team. Saberlight trying to jump in, looking for an RP opportunity, but the cooldown's down. They lost Charlie on the front line. They've lost Saberlight as well. He cannot get off a single spell. There's also Error just run down by 5 men. It's just another awkward fight. I mean, NiP, they showed their hand. They started to poke at the tower, and 5 men, they're more than happy to turn up. They know that there's still this window where there's no chaotic offering. 5 men know that they've got the lead right now across the board in terms of the farm that their cores have got. And they're going to happily take a fight any time that NiP try and go straight at them in a 5 versus 5 situation.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the positioning is just perfect for 5 men. Like, this is actually just going to I feel like it's going to give it to them. Like you said, there's no chaotic offering. It's a tough place for NiP to just force the issue. And there are always ways that Charlie gets kited. He's a lifestealer, but he's with the Spirit Breaker.
See that bottom. Supreme, he's in the trees. Have they got the stun? They haven't. Jesse tries to find him with a light strike, but not quite there in time and doesn't quite have the placement. Supreme able to live another day.
Yeah, but this is looking really rough. He's got a vessel. It's a very underfarmed. It kind of feels like it's just going to be lifestealer versus the world now, which I feel like we kind of felt was going to come when you put this Magnus as an offlaner here in this game. Let's see what he can do though. He does have a fresh AC.
I mean, Zibe may die for this. He might even live. He's going to be able to tip a chain out. They're in with a burst. The vessel bring him down low, but no, he's got Firelight Eye by his side. Zibe's still alive. Finally falls. They dropped the Golem to get the kill. I don't think the Golem was even needed. I think Charlie actually killed him before the Golem came in. But it was committed, and he did his job. You saw him playing around that outpost there. Zibe coming in with the Yules. He stopped NiP from getting that outpost back in time. 20 minutes in, no bonus XP for NiP.
He almost lives too. He got that chain off. I think he just lives if he doesn't miss it. Jesse gets the stun on Supreme.
Oh, gonna be the counterplay from Aaron. Charlie's gonna look to commit straight away. Gyro trying to first Ace down. Ace able to get the cooldown out. Comes over the tether. Ace kept alive. Now he's in for the turnaround. But Saberlight, he's in. The big RP gets the 3 of them. Great RP from Saberlight. Ace will make it away. But this time round, NiP able to find the position to punish 5 men. As Error, they make the read. They go straight in onto that Gyro, force a response, and Saberlight is able to just walk and slam them down with the ult.
Yeah, and he gets the ult off right as Lina's Aegis gets reclaimed, I'm pretty sure. I think I heard it tick as he got RP'd, so they get the kill. That one's ending, and I feel like that's how they should be taking these fights. I feel like Charlie has to just be infested in somebody and just jump on the Gyro when the fight starts, because it just causes this panic. He's open wounds, he can't actually, he doesn't have anything to just push him away from it either, and then it allows Saberlight to get the setup for the RP. So I think that's kind of how they're going to have to, and it's going to be easier now that they do have these Blink daggers. Like Blink on Era, he's able to force the initiations.
Yeah.
All right, showing some signs of life.
Good moves there. One thing to take into account, though, that fight was taken with Ace having a lot of money just sort of in the ether. Yeah, as you can see, he had a recipe, stuff in his backpack. Now he's got the full MKB. So we saw them able to tackle the Gyro going straight into him with sort of 5,000 gold off to the side. Now it's invested. He's got full MKB. We'll see how things fare differently. Coming straight into into this move that NiP are trying to make close to tier 2 tower. Charlie has got to get out. So jumping Supreme with the Infest. Missile heading over the way of the Void Spirit. Supreme turns with the Remnant trying to pull him back. But Zibe going to want to get caught. Supreme hit by the homing missile. Eric comes in with the first. Can they burst down this giant time? Ace instead. The Dissimulate kills him off. Charlie turns his attention over towards Misery. Misery comes out with the ult. The skewer from Saberlight cancels it. Zibe's over towards Supreme, but they've got the control. The Remnant, the Vessel, down onto Zibe. The Shockwave, they're bursting him low. Can they quite finish him? He yawls it up over to the side. The Timber Chain, Supreme. Is he able to dodge it? No. The Chakram clips him. Zibe picks up a second. Another chain over to the side. And now Zibe's got backup. Chessie and Pylite away in. Charlie goes for the race CP out, and Saberlight's out in the trees. Rest make it away there. Zibe able to hold on to some of that fight for 5 men, get a good bit of turnaround at the end as they just couldn't quite kill the Timber.
That was huge though. I actually thought that Supreme was going to die way fast. Like steps allows him to survive, and they pop Ace. And they're ahead of down. It's really surprising. Now they're going to have more.
Great job of focusing.
Yeah, great job of focusing, and that's without the P or without the chaotic offering too. So it's just surprising they're able to get these type of chases. I don't know where Chessie was the whole fight though. He showed up real late when they were diving pretty hard. I didn't see what ended up happening there because they were diving under 2-2 and he has bots. So good to see where he was at the start of that one there.
See immediately back up to the top part of the map after all the defensive lines. He's going to be investing in the Bloodstone Nexus, the Timber.
He's got this Lotus now, which is massive. Yeah. The Eul's was nice to protect himself, but Lotus is, your versus Fatal Bonds, Lifesteal at open wounds. You can use it on your teammates too. He can protect that gyro. This is going to change quite a bit here of them actually being able to focus fire those targets as easily. If he saves that for Ace, Ace is always able to disengage.
What? Error. Get the setup on Chessie. Chessie's going to try and turn Saberlight's in him. He's got the Yules to control him. Oh, that was not even close, unfortunately, for Saberlight, as he just died. He just straight up died. They're going to lose more. I mean, the golem comes out onto the 3 of them. Ace starting to back up a little bit. They're focusing on Kitara. Can they kill him off? They can. They do get the kill onto Ace. Misery with a big charge rush on the side, hits onto the 3 of them with a bash by, and actually locks down Charlie long enough to burst him out. They've taken out the Lifestealer. Zibe cleans up another in the trees, finds Misha. Supreme trying to run as Chessie, Misery, and Zibe attempt to chase him down, but Error's back in with the blink. Chessie not quite enough to kill him with the combo, but the Golem finishes him off. One final slap from Misha's summon takes out the Lina. Zibe looking to Error. Little low mana hit Zibe, and Error will manage to toss him away. Zibe can chase further. They've got the charge coming in, but put to a stop by Error with the avalanche.
Nice, and he gets the rune.
Out. Yeah, Error's going to be able to control that. So again, another fight where we are seeing them get the core kills. NiP is able to take down the Gyro and Lina, even with the messy start to that. They didn't quite get the RP setup they wanted. You saw Saberlight there, who's trying to be fancy, trying to drag him around. And Supreme getting another bonus to finish it off. We're seeing this network speed that 5 men have getting shut down. This Lifestealer is staying at the top. And the lead is getting lost with each of these fights that 5 men are taking now. NiP managing to get themselves back towards the top.
Yeah, it's just they're throwing everything on him there. The open wound is actually doing so much work because he's just getting stuck inside of that position of the fight. So we're looking to here. Saberlight. And he's got the drag back. Let's see if they can kill him. He's got the Lotus to remove the silence. Out with the chain. Toss back. And Zibe. He's got anything else to save himself? Pop the hood. Remnant out. Pull him back. And they'll finish him off. Big kill onto Zibe now, as NiP show that they can kill the unkillable, even able to just dispatch the Timber Sword despite all the defensive measures that Zibe's built up. Really starting to get the ball rolling for them. Aghanim is on Supreme. He's starting to feel a lot stronger too with this Nether Shawl, level 18. It's looking pretty decent right now. Still a bit behind. But they are versus a hero that's fragile, like a Lina, right? That core Lina, a lot of the times in these type of games, it starts to be scary because it's just in a lot of these fights.
Oh, Saberlight. Straight away with the RP. I mean, you're definitely okay with that one. As Chessie steps forward, no hesitation from Saberlight that time round to lock him down. Chessie's out of the game for 70.
Radiant's middle
NiP, they'll finish off this tier 2 tower mid by looks a bit with the wave coming in and the pushing power that they have. I mean, these sort of deaths like that, losing your Lina straight up like that, it's really going to put NiP continuously in a better and better position. Charlie's just going to get bigger and scarier. And once he has like the BGB and the Abyssal, he's going to be able to jump in. This Lina, this Gyro, they're going to have a very tough time in these fights.
Yeah, they're not going to be able to get away from him. Definitely going to be really important. He's always buffed up too. Yeah, this is looking pretty good for them here. 5 men, they have to find together a good 5v5 fight though, when it's not into RP and the Golem. Even though they haven't really synergized them very well, right now is a good moment. There's no RP, they only have to worry about Golem. They have lean up soon. Lacking some information just for one ward. Chip it. Gets spotted.
He's just dead. By the looks of it, he can't get out of this. They're killing off the Timber. They just found the Gyro. Gyro needs back up right now, and he's going to get an ace. He's going to get a back up and he's coming in the charge. Onto Saberlight. Supreme comes across. Saberlight trying to help out with the Timber. Charlie looking at them. Pilot dies dead. Error's gone as well. Misery's cleaned up. It's a triple kill for Supreme. And I think 5 men, they've just sort of lost it this game. They had a lead. They had a sizable lead, but NiP, they're able to outplay them. They'll finish off the Roche for themselves. They're now taking the lead in a game where 5 men did build up a pretty big network advantage in the early game. That's now all gone. And now it really is NiP leading the way in this game.
Yeah, they've got like good control of the game now. I'm very surprised to say that after what looked like 5 men, especially with the way that they picked, like where they itemized. They itemized to be able to like fight always and always show up to those situations. But I feel like they just kind of farmed a lot, especially like on chess. Sure, he's got these 5 deaths, but I feel like that bottom situation, he had to be there sooner. It feels like a lot of it is snowballing off the fact that they're not showing up to the fights, and NiP just they're the ones leading the charge now for the last like 12 minutes.
They read it up. Straight away, another tier 2 tower to be taken. That's sort of fight where 5 men are able to coordinate in a way where Ace can sort of sit there and shoot away with the flat cannon. It just hasn't happened. Too many are just getting on top of this Gyro, and we're seeing both Zibe and Chessie just dying off alone before a 5 versus 5 actually happens at this point. They've got to be a little more careful with the way that they play out on these cores.
Yeah, I bet people are probably feeling like Timber saw a win lane, lose game, right? But it doesn't feel like it's so much on his back right now because the team isn't playing with him. Because he's 8-3 and 5. He's been sticking. He's been frontlining, but they're in on him for him.
He needs some help. He's just been gone on by the full 5 man. Zibe tossed up, silenced as well into another taunt. They're taking him out as he just dies outside of the base. 5 men unable to get out and help him. And now inside of the base, they go save him. Oh, it's a brilliant RP. It's on the 3 of them. The Replicate was there in time to at least take out Ace. It does still result in the death of both Chessie and Misery. Saberlight, he was just having a rough start. He's really cleaned up his game towards what potentially could be closing towards the end of it. As the last few RPs have been spectacular and even those sort of pickoffs, jumping in, getting the grab onto Zibe with the skewer, he's setting up for NiP to finish off these team fights very nicely.
Man, it really feels like NiP woke up at the 18, 19, 20 minute mark or something. They just something turned on, and on 5 men it switched off because it did seem like they all started playing much more split up, much more concerned about making these constant plays and constantly showing up to the fight. Just kind of get that back.
I see Pi tried to push it out, but Pi, he's still not got relocate back up. It's unavailable for 10 more seconds. I don't think he's going to be able to get them out of it. Ace is trying to hide in the trees, but Pi's dead. Ace is gone as well. I mean, it absolutely just feels like a huge communication breakdown from within the ranks of 5 men this game, as NiP are just punishing them every single place on the map that they show themselves.
Yeah. Now they have such good control of this game. They can just do pretty much anything they want. Charlie is at no risk of dying at all. He's so high level. They always feel like they have their ults up now because they're the ones setting the pace of the game. So RP is going to be up in 40. They only had to use Chaotic Offering for like these solo kind of kills before. It's back up. Now your whole kind of plan for 5 minutes crumble to Chessie. I want to say Chessie was what, like 5-1 or 6-2 or something at the start of this game. He's died 4 or 5 times in a row without pretty much doing anything inside of the team fights.
Bottom tower is under attack.
Yeah, they just haven't really had a full 5-on-5 team fight. It's just Chessie's been dead or Zibe's been dead. In this case, as we saw, both the Pilot IO and the Charge is taken out of the action, and then now they're pushing in on the bottom lane. now it's got to be the time. A 5-man show what they can do in a full team fight. If they don't have anything here, they're not going to have anything ever. Supreme, he's straight in there. Quick moves from NiP. They're going to turn it over towards Chessie. They are deep out behind the tier 4 tower. Saberlight screws out the side, but Charlie, he's just cutting it up. He's going to look to over towards Ace and Pylite. He's taking quite a bit of damage back in response. Remnant out, but Ace with the BKB will be able to step away. The Remnant grabs onto Misery. It's a triple kill for Charlie. He's looking over towards Sibbe. He's able to take down the Timber, get the Ultra. They're looking over towards the Fountain now. They're heading in. Charlie trying to find that Rampage. He's on towards Ace. Saberlight's got the RP again. Onto the tree of the Rampage for Charlie. They're cleaning up big time here. It's this game. It's over. It's absolutely over here. 35 to 20. 19k lead. It's a die back from Misery. There's no way they're coming back into this. Charlie just taunting him in the base there as he heads into dive. As this game is done, NiP to take the victory here. As I mean, you said it. They really did wake up in that sort of the mid game onwards. They played this perfectly. This was sort of an NiP that I feel.
Starting out with any new project management software usually feels something like this. Where do you even start? Well, you've probably got some to-dos written down somewhere, right? Let's drop those in here. There we go. Let's give these some due dates in the order they need to be completed.
Yeah, I think they made a lot of mistakes there. They like Pi a couple times like with these relocate deaths and everything. Ace, I think he felt stronger than he actually was, like holding his ground and then just ended up getting turned on. So yeah, I think they just made a bit too many mistakes and just allowed NiP to bring this one back pretty heavily.
Wow. There we go, ladies and gentlemen. Game 1 going to the side of NiP. Don't go anywhere, though. We'll be back after this short break for more action in this best of 3 between NiP and 5men.
We get into the final series of the day here in the lower bracket, and it's going to be 5 men versus OG battling it out for elimination. And yeah, I don't know. I think this is what we've seen so far though from OG's lanes, especially with Sax. Oh, that's going to be a kill on Pylai. Meanwhile, Luna down to the bottom lane getting run down. It's going to be the both of them killed off. That level 3 on Seb, the level 2 on Clockwork.
Oh, here we go. Mid lane. Earth Spirit TPing in.
Yeah, Notel could be in some trouble. This roll does connect. The damage is in. The right click to shield. Is it going to be enough for Notel? It is not. He's going to get beaten on down by Chessie. And Ace has actually turned up to his top lane. Is pushing down that tower. He really wants to
middle Tiny
down.
getting clogged up.
Where's the follow-up? Seb's turning up to this one. Misery throws a stone across, but Chessie he's just getting run down by Seb and by the Clockwork here. Can they finish the job, though? They need a little bit more. The roll is not going to connect onto... Oh, they can't quite get in. Saxa trying to finish it off, but I don't think this one's going to happen. Looks like Chessie's going to get himself away. Saxa's still trying to chase as best he can. They actually get off the cogs onto him. The Avatos comes in from Chessie. Chessie gets a kill. Seb can't find his way into the cogs to finish off the Tiny. And now he comes back into his teammate, but Sox is there. Surely through the flames they can get the kill. He will go down, but now Misery is actually finding himself surrounded by OG heroes. I don't even know how they all got here, but suddenly they turn up and they just straight up murder the guys. So Misery's going to drop. And they want to put some pressure on this tower now. Let's see, Seb running into Jibbe. Jibbe's going to be the next target on the list right now. I mean, wow, there's just a lot of damage coming out from that team currently. Meanwhile, Ace turning up this fight. Maybe they can make something happen in. Maybe Misery rolling in the back lines. Ace, he's got a decent amount of damage rolling through the Moonglaive, so it looks like Sux is going to lose his life along with Seb. Notel all by himself doesn't have the borrowed time. He's going to die as well. 3 heroes finally caught out for overextending and finished off by the side of 5 men. That was just not respecting the respawn times, I think.
Oh, definitely. Both teams are going to protect this till the bitter end. And Paladai does have his chaotic offering available. Oh, Chessie goes in with the blink.
Yeah, there it is. The avalanche, the toss. A little bit disconnected there, so I don't think he got the bonus damage from the toss. And, well, mid one coming down on the low ground, drops the chrono, but just as he gets decrepified and sits there staring at Jibbe for the entire duration. Meanwhile, Hookshot comes in the backline. Eclipse comes down as well. It's all hell breaks into trying to drop down the Kedek offering, but he can't do so. He's dead. Buyback from Paladai really wants to drop this golem here. They're going to be able to kill off Saxa on the side. Meanwhile, Notel, he just runs himself out. They know what this buyback was about, and they just want to get themselves out, and that's
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant team pick.
Witch Doctor.
Ten seconds remaining. NiP's turn to bat.
Drow Ranger.
Radiant team ban. Ten seconds remaining. NiP's turn to ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant team ban. NiP's turn to ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant team ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant team NiP's turn to pick.
Wind Ranger at your service.
Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant team pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. NiP's turn to pick.
The Undying wakes.
Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. NiP's turn to battle.
Beastmaster.
Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant team ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. NiP's turn to ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant team ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. NiP's turn to pick. Radiant team pick.
Void incarnate.
Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. fever. Choose your hero.
Wish I'd learned how to read.
Easy breezy. Easy breezy.
This pleases me to no end.
And a warm welcome back to you all, ladies and gentlemen, as we're getting ourselves ready for Game 2 to kick off between NiP and 5-men. Folks, we've just seen the drafts. We're seeing them sort of end up 5-men this time around with the Weaver. Game 1, we did feel that 5-men's draft was stronger, and may necessarily have been the case. It did seem it was more the performance that was the fault from them in Game 1. What do you reckon about the draft they've come in with this time here in Game 2?
I mean, different. Definitely different. Fast-paced, but yeah, intriguing because it is a slaughter mid.
It is. It's the Chessie Slaughter. Chessie Slaughter coming out in the mid lane. It does, of course, know that the matchup is almost guaranteed to be supreme as this Void Spirit, so you are against this melee hero. You get pretty tanky, I suppose, so you don't mind so the harass that's going to come out from the Void Spirit in the lane. I mean, what other reasons could you sort of think of that has made this seem like the best approach from NiP, putting Chessie mid on the Slaughter this game? From 5-men, sorry.
He is like that big, I mean, the BKB piercing disable and all that too, right? He gets that like hard damage. He wants good levels too, and I guess they just really want him to get a good chunk of farm. I mean, still, if he can check runes and all that too, matchup. I'm wondering how this matchup is because you can't wave clear really,
30 seconds to
Void Spirit can just wave clear. You just don't go for so many trade hits as Void. You just play around your spells always. True. Just watch for that 4th hit. So I don't feel like Supreme should get bullied that hard. I think like the biggest reason was just like giving him like the big level so he could just make early rotations around and set up to help out the lanes. Not really sure what else it would be.
On him. Pi. He's going to be fine. 3 of them able to just push back Ace and Pi away from the rim. Pi's actually going to try and step forward again. Maybe let's see if he can get it. Pi like that. He's going to almost certainly die for this one though as he steps back in. Doesn't get the chance to get the rune. Is still alive for now. I mean, I guess Pi did the maths. He's actually able to walk away. Doesn't actually get punished for that as Pi will live. but unable to get the rune there away from NiP, as NiP will grab that one from the river.
Okay, unbelievably close. It's actually, okay, be careful, Pi. Okay, yeah, he's good. Got the boots, be able to run back. So it looks like they're starting flexing themselves as that try. And did they get themselves a beneficial rune? Just 2 for 2, so. All right, and I guess the other thing that I'm wondering if they wanted to have double range top is the other reason that I was thinking about Slardar mid. Rather Slardar versus a Witch Doctor, where Witch Doctor is one of those king heroes at lane. Even though Slardar is good versus most melee heroes, the Witch Doctor changes things. Maybe they just wanted to have double range to shut down Lifestealer. They did really well on their lanes last game, so I can trust their decision making on them for sure.
Yeah, I mean, they did really well.
Yeah.
Sort of, they came up to like a 5 to, I think maybe even the 7k lead early on after the lane.
Getting clipped, even.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, with things, yeah. So working out against them in that sense. See down bottom, Pi trying to do his best to force back Era and Saberlight. I mean, in terms of these lanes, who's got to be the most careful? Who do you sort of see being the easy target for the enemy?
Saberlight is probably dead here, honestly. I was going to say, Saberlight has to be very careful how he walks over to this lane. Yeah, he's dead.
First blood.
Yeah, just straight. I mean, early game Drow in the lane with these frost arrows. You know, it's a decent amount of damage and very easy to get the harass out with the reach of the multi-shot. And combo with Pi, once you start to lose that strength, these hits from the Drow are going to hurt. And Ace is always going to have the chance to get them in on you, especially when you're a melee hero like the Beastmaster. Yeah,
I mean, this is just a really strong lane. Undying Drow. We've seen like the Undying Drows and the Avenged Drow for the most part, but I feel like this Undying, whenever I feel like it's like you can't do anything if you have a strength offlaner for the most part, and they have 2 strength heroes. You know, Phoenix also being that strength. So if they get hit by decays, it hurts that much more. So Ace, he should be off to a very solid start. Chessie's doing pretty good in these first few levels for sure. Will get better for Supreme as the levels do build in, but yeah, all 3 lanes look solid for them right now. Saberlight's getting like little to nothing down here.
Yeah, it's so
like
hard
losing his boars too. Now with the levels built up, they kill the boar so easily. Like a soul rip, 2 or 3 hits from Drow, and that boar is dead. A lot more of experience going their way too.
Yeah, they're gonna just sort of have to hold tight on that bottom lane until at least Supreme hits the 6 and is ready to make the move.
Radiant's
and obviously, is the Void Spirit able to really punish the Drow with the mobility getting in on top of Ace once he gets the 6 and out the Astral Step. Mid lane, Supreme and Chessie further down to very low HPs. Bottle's already out on Supreme. Chessie was coming out himself. He's just getting himself some regen, salving and mango on the way. Chessie will be able to continue to hold his ground here in this mid lane and continue to hold. I guess there's a wave coming in, so very close at the moment between the 2 mid laners.
Yeah, they're actually able to find Pi playing a little bit too far aggressive forward there to secure Ace, but job isn't Undying, right? You die, whatever. You kind of want to die in a lot of these situations because you have no mana. Yeah, like these situations as an Undying, it's actually good to die, I feel like. Sure, you give like a little bit of experience, but you're full reset and you get to bring the item through the Drow.
As soon as he's back in to the lane, straight onto the 2 of them. Just got to be a little careful though, the low HP that he does have.
Saberlight's trying to pull the waves now, trying to get as much as he can. I's just going to chase him.
And we'll have that ball to try and slow down Pi's advances. Saberlight actually opting to turn. Try and get a punch in on him. Saberlight coming back again. He's got the stick charge. Pi. This is going to be a lot of damage. He's dead. He is absolutely dead. This soul rip should do it. Oh, no, he's absolutely not. But one more build. He's got it in 5 seconds.
He gets the more experience.
He's running. They're trying to block him off. He can get the decay, get this kill. No, he's not going to be able to. Okay, Saberlight, he'll live. He's still trying to fight. He's still trying for that decay, but Saberlight's out of range now. But that was close. I mean, Saberlight, he was really pushing it there. He was really pushing it.
He still has to be careful. He's going to be a soul rip in a second. Saberlight. Pi's getting blocked by creeps a little bit.
He lives for
wants
this soul
it. Not a decay soul rip, though.
No, yeah, you're right.
He missed.
Yeah, Saberlight sounded. They could try and kill for Pi here, but the soul rip heal. Pretty sizable. Era's got a few spirits left to go, though. I think Pi, he should die.
No.
He's going to try for a deny to the Ancients. Let's see if he's able to do so. And he is. Goes down to the Ancients. Jesse will roam over. Bashes out Era. Able to get that kill at the perfect time as well. 5 minutes kick in. The bounce is there for Jesse to grab. So good move from Jesse.
during the entirety. Ace is just farming at his tower. Sure, they pulled one of the creep waves, but Pi actually messed with it so badly that Ace is almost level, getting close to 6 now down bottom. That's pretty huge there. Pi definitely doing work. Even though he dies, it's all worth
he is. There's the classic Pi dying, and on a classic Pi dying hero. As you say, just doing it perfectly. Ace, he's over the moon right now. This is an incredibly happy Drow. 32 and 15 here in the first 5 minutes on safe lane.
Radiant's bottom tower.
Mid lane,
Is under
should be able to burst him. Supreme, still with the Astral Step, good to go. Take down the Slardar. So this mid lane, we're seeing the creep score remain even, but
is under attack.
I do just feel that Supreme as a Void Spirit, this more traditional mid hero, he's going to be able to do a lot more with a lot less to what Chessie needs to farm up to actually have impact himself. This Void Spirit's going to be all over the place.
Yeah, and he's a bottle hero. You know, Slardar, he's actually had to spend a lot of money on regen, and just like it's always going to be like that throughout the majority of the game. While Supreme's going to be able to fill up and just make moves around. So sure, Chessie, you see, he was like even in last hit, but the gold actually showed differently. He was like 200 or 300 behind the Void Spirit even before he died. Bottom Pi.
And finishing this time. Aggressive, he's got Ace backing him up. And the pause is slowing down Pi.
Ace is hard.
Oh, he's got the salve. He's able to get out of range just in time, pop the salve. The dive comes in from Air. Pi's got a decay, able to get it out. He's still ticking down though to the spirits as Pi will fall yet again. Ace might be able to clean up the skill on Air with that, but Chessie comes in, gives the vision, even takes to kill himself with the bash there. As Chessie able to make another move a second time now where he's headed down here and has been able to sort of swing the trades in favor, especially to get Saberlight as he sticks around on about 100 HP. Chessie just comes in, drops the ult, and Saberlight goes down in a flurry of arrows from Ace's Drow.
Oh, he did. Okay, I was literally waiting to compliment him too, because he actually blocked the initial multi-shot earlier with a boar and saved himself with one hit. And in that one, he stays around. When you see the, the bait glyph, when you see those situations happen, and you're trying to kill 2 creeps low and they glyph, they're trying to set up a kill on you. Usually in those situations, he falls for it. Come on, Saberlight. I was about to hype you up for blocking that multi-shot too, and then you died with that.
Solid protection for Supreme, comes in with a combo onto Misery. Burst him underneath the tower. Supreme ready to get mobile. Chessie's going to head over. Supreme, not going to be too worried about this. Jumps over into Chessie. Still got dissimilar, so he could get away.
Still got his bash prepped up, so will hurt Supreme a little bit.
Step in a second, and the Remnant, and even Arrow coming in from the side. Sweep in, and going to start to slow Chessie down. Running with the Arrow, Supreme's got to be careful. There's a lot of physical. The Shackle's there, as they will still opt to run. I just sort of wonder if Chessie could turn. I mean, I guess he didn't have the bash built up, so wouldn't have had the physical damage to kill off Supreme. Even with the corrosive phase on it. Paladin's still support Supreme. He still wants to fight. He's going to stand straight back over onto Pi. Pi will heal himself with the soul with the shackle. Will not latch. Supreme still dancing around with very little left to offer as he's out of mana. He'll live as he gets himself away. So the side of 5 men start to put the pressure onto this tier 1 tower mid. Additional support coming in as Misha also around to try and hold off and keep this tower alive for now.
Yeah, an interesting approach from 5 men to force reaction onto mid. They bring 3 heroes around the area because they know their 2 side laners are actually very fine to be left alone. Like Ace Drow, usually not the one that's fine to be left alone, but because of how good of a game he's had, they force all these reactions mid, and then Drow free farms, Weaver free farms, and you're forcing pressure. I like them quite a bit there. Even though it seems weird, like Pi just walks up and drops a tombstone, it actually forces quite a bit of reaction from it.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
And then Charlie's in a disadvantageous position because it's a lifestealer versus a Weaver top, so he's already been pressured too. So yeah, big move there from 5 men.
Yeah, of course, we did see Charlie have a very good game at the end of the day in game 1. This time around, things are going to be a little different. No Empower to help him get that insane amount of boost to his farm that he did find in the first game. So definitely a bit more of a challenge here for Charlie.
And he has a lot more. Yeah, he has a lot more he has to deal with though this time, right? Like Lifestealer last game, you only have to worry about like a charge to break the rage. Now there's just so much damage and so many different things that are going to be messing with him. Dust, Amplified, Corrosive, etc.
See the chase onto Supreme here. The Supreme is able to find Pi in the river. That shackle! I don't know how it latched, but it did. It did. Now getting the kill. Nicely done there from Misery. Yeah, sort of caught from an angle. I mean, I guess it just looks a little bit weird because of the height as well. Was a low ground tree from the high ground. But yeah, I guess the angle. Misery finds that setup and Supreme's off the map.
Bottom tower is under attack.
Nice play there. In the meanwhile, we do see Saberlight takes advantage of that.
Radiant's
Was able to
bottom
crypt
tower
himself
has
back
fallen.
to this game, gets his book. One finish and a tower.
Dire's top tower
have a smoke up.
Yeah, not level 6 on these two yet, but trying to make a move onto mid. Catapult wave.
They can somehow get a kill. Get the 6 at least for Error. To jump straight in onto Pi under the tower. What have they got to help him out? Mystery has got a lovely shackle off the two of them. He's going to try and run down Misha with the focus fiber. Misha's able to juke him out in the trees. Chessie and Zibe do come crawling across though, cleaning up the Witch Doctor. Up down for the support. Yep, able to get it support in trade by men. NiP still hanging around, see if they can find more. Supreme up the side with it to simulate. Zibe and Chessie seeing if they can maybe run him down over towards the river. Chessie just laying out the corrosive hazes, but Charlie will reveal himself. They know there's a lot around here now. 5 men, so we'll be a little more cautious. Not going to try and chase on any further.
They don't have the easiest ways to actually get like set up besides the roar. They have a cask and then the Aether Remnant. And Saberlight did not have mana there, so they can't actually just force the issue. And diving under that tower there, Drow's TP will be coming back up soon, so NiP had to be a little careful. Now though, Clarity's running, Saberlight has mana, trying to get a catch.
On mid lane. An easy catching it straight onto Chessie with the roar. More than enough damage to burn through him. Error coming in with that Sunray, of course. Making all the difference. They're going to try and fight back here with the presence of Ace. Comes in from the side with a multi-shot, gets the burst out onto Supreme. Supreme can't jump out. Nice movement from Ace to join towards the mid. Phoenix did come out from Error just in case Supreme was able to jump to the high ground and go for that extra bit of safety and coverage, but ends up not really achieving much at all with Supreme already dying due to that nice little rotation from Ace. You know, he may be hitting the creeps like a good old carry, but not one to stray away from a team fight that gets presented on his doorstep.
Yeah, he's already level 11. Yasha, Dragonlance. I mean, he's real set up for success here for this game right now. Not the best ways to collapse onto him either, unless they do, you know, Void Spirit and Fest Bomb onto him. That's probably one of the better ones.
And in a game as well, where I imagine Zibe is this offlane, we'll be too surprised if we do see an Aghanims come out.
Oh yeah,
you know, it's just the perfect answer, right? When you have a vulnerable hero like the Drow Ranger against these sort of single target lockdowns like the Brawl.
Absolutely, couldn't agree more.
Well, here they go towards the mid. Paladai is the one to be found, but the Remnant won't quite grab him. Actually able to pop the ult and turn. Supreme in the river. Another jump away from the crush. This time Pi won't fall. They tried to see what they could find around this town, but Pi has to back up. This call on the low ground as Misha just drops the death fork will finally result in a death of Paladai. Chess is going to try and chase it for more. The silence gets everyone on the Phoenix. Error doesn't get a chance to jump out with the dive, but the silence catches him. They're past the towers. They're looking for Supreme. He's got no other spells ready to go. He's dead. Quick moves, and again, we're starting to just see this incredibly well-leveled, well-farmed Drow just turn up, offer his piece in these fights. Now, Ace is going to hit the 12. With this Drow, I mean, not just the combo with the Drow Slider, but I guess the bugs from Zibe as well. It's just the perfect combination to take this Roshan down at the speed that NiP, they're not even going to have Supreme back in the game by the time it falls.
Yeah, no way they can contest this. Bugs, like you said, corrosive, even a medallion thrown on top. This is a lot of minus armor coming up in this draft here. That the heroes of NiP are going to look extremely fragile. We did say that, right? Like the Lifestealer, he's the only one that's going to be a little tanky versus it, but yeah, it's very scary. Chessie, like we said, they give him mid, so he's going to have the very early 12. Ace already has 12 too, so this damage is, it's going to be no joke. Everyone's going to get shredded on the side of NiP. They have to have a little bit better chances of getting these jumps off, but it definitely is looking to be harder than last game. Because the last one they did have just easier type of like just these team fights, right? Your RP, your golem. This game, it's much more difficult to set them up.
Yeah, we saw last game as well, just having that in power really for the lifesteal makes all the difference. It means that suddenly, you might be 5k down. You only have to sort of make sure you win one team fight to just buy the time to get the space to boost the farm on your quick carry. This time around, they're going to have to make a lot of plays to turn this one round. NiP's bottom lane. Yeah, Saberlight's found too. What? Oh, give him more easy gold.
Cap. And he used Roar too, so when he respawns, no Roar for a minute. So they can't actually make an aggressive move. This is A little rough for NiP. They got to bring stuff together here, but it was similar to the last game. They did have rough, but like you said, they'd had a Magnus last time that really helped so much to keep Charlie in the game.
Middle tower is under attack.
Charlie just having his work cut out this game. It's just somehow got to find a way to catch up to the power that Ace is hitting. Ace that. As we saw just that free lane gap from the start with the way that Pi was able to play as the Undying, it just made this look like a very, very solid Drow game for the rest of it. They've got to somehow do something about this Drow. Any of these fights where they don't get on top and Ace is able to turn, it doesn't matter who you are, even if you're this Lifestealer, Ace will he'll tear you apart. You get caught in a gust, you've got nothing against this Drow.
Yeah, and they were making sure to give Chessie the farm right there. He's actually got the blink done, and they gave him the experience too, so he's about to be level 12, like we're talking about. These big moves are coming in, and they're going to look so fragile. Supreme is infesting right now. They're looking for Pi. They're going to beast.
Right, this is the jump they need. He's going to put the man to try and step out to the side. Misery, can he help out Ace? He cannot. Ace, okay. What? Ace didn't die? How did he not die? He didn't die. They couldn't hit. They needed one more hit. They didn't get it. Ace is able to live. Oh my goodness.
He's safe.
And I mean, if he doesn't die there, I don't know when he's going to die. That would have been the shot to take down Ace. They couldn't quite do it. They didn't have enough damage. Fives. And now it's sort of, you know, everything continues as normal here in this game too, as it has been for the first 15 minutes. Now it just continues to show NiP falling further and further behind as this Drow just continues to take over even more.
Yeah, and they just need to really, on the side of 5 men, they just need to really just kind of stick together. Don't go splitting up too much around the sides of the map, because that's where you're going to start getting picked off by this Void Spirit plus Beastmaster Roy and stuff like that. I think if they just always make sure they have like a buddy system going on in this game right now, they're looking real solid to take it. Just the way that their draft works, the way it controls the map versus this Lifestealer Beastmaster, definitely feels like it's going to be a big struggle for NiP this time around to really just flip the game like last time. And immediately, if they're smoked up, they know something's going on. Saberlight show.
Nice shot. The amount of taking the death ward onto Chessie is going to be a decent amount of damage. Won't be enough to kill him. He's even going to TP out back to base. Whether he doesn't pop.
Actually, just realized that was only a level 6 Witch Doctor, not Max Maledict. I was like, that ticked a lot less than I thought it would be.
The levels have been a little slow for him this game.
Yeah.
But just, I mean, it's just hard in these fights. You know, Witch Doctor, this is one of those heroes that the Drow just kills in the first second of the multi shot, you know. Incredibly quick.
Yeah.
To the damage that Ace is going to be throwing out from afar in these team fights.
And you're playing versus like Weaver and stuff too, like this elusive hero that gets into the back, and he has Solar Crest and bugs too, so you're all just so weak and fragile right now, and you don't have this great lockdown to deal with these high mobile heroes that can just still apply pressure while Ace just has the free time. And Misery, look, he just knows, all right, Saberlight's going to just push bottom. I'm just going to be the one to power shot, push this out, while other heroes play with that buddy system that we were talking about. You see Ace with Zibe, and then you see Chessie paired up with Pi. So they're doing this perfectly on the side of 5 men right now, not to be able to give up any free kills to the side of NiP. Not looking to make the same mistakes of the first game.
Oh, not at all, at least not so far. 5 men making this game feel incredibly tough for NiP to find an opening. For the most part, Charlie has been keeping to himself, farming away. So, you know, nowhere near the same pace he's able to achieve as when he has a Magnus. Going for the same build though, the armlet into the AC. Pulling point against the Drow. Going on to check there, popping everything on in the Raw, the Death Ward. Can they burst him? He's forced out the side. Chessie trying to run. The Maledict will finish him though. Chessie for sure will die, but a turnaround's going to come in so they can find something in losing their Slardar. They get one. Get anything more here. Ace starting to slow them with the multi-shot. He's seeing that damage. It's just so much damage right now from this Drow. Ace did step up pretty far though. There's going to be a buyback coming in from Error. Charlie trying to go on to Ace, but he's healed up by the Sorit, forced to safety. Ace will live, turns onto Saberlight, the Beastmaster falls, and they're just going to struggle massively when it comes to killing this Drow. Even with the buyback coming in from Error, just not able to turn around the fight the way that they would have hoped for. 5 men as well, the way that they back up, looking to pick up all 4 bounty runes if they get themselves up towards the top. Of course, they did have both of those outposts under their control at the 20 minutes. So this game just continued to have NiP fall further and further behind, and at this stage, much further behind than they ever were in that game 1 that they were able to turn around.
Yeah, and like we said, they don't have the same heroes that are that big like oomph factor, that huge comeback because of the ultis, the BKB piercing lockdowns, and all that. It feels like it feels very single target oriented because of how far behind the Phoenix, the Void Spirit are. Those two are their AoE damage, and they're not able to really do anything. They have to use absolutely everything to kill Chessie. And there's just so many different things. You can see the way the 5-men's itemizing. They recognize that it's a lot of this single target now at this point. They have these 4 staffs, they have Soul Rip, a lot of different ways to bail, in particular the Drow Ranger, out of bad situation.
Yeah, it's getting scarily close to the point where you could just look at 5-men's lineup and say, all right, these 5 heroes, they can just go straight down mid, and what are NiP actually going to be able to do to sort of push back against a 5-man push from 5-men?
Yeah. Definitely. Yeah, really solid, really good draft look all around here for them. It looks like everybody kind of synergizes them. Same thing can be said for NiP with their draft, just how those lanes, we really are always looking at lanes and 5-men. They seem to, like at least the trend, we saw this here and we saw like Omega, they like to draft for lanes, this team. So definitely working out for them in both of these games, even though they did lose the first one. We'll see how this one continues to play out.
Their laning definitely the strongest of their points, 5-men. I mean, there's just Charlie, we say, trying to get this AC. It's still, it's not necessarily close. He's going to need a bit more time to finish that. How's sort of progress to be looking for Supreme? He's got the Yules and nothing else to follow.
Yeah, he's real poor at the moment. I actually can't believe how poor he is. I looked at it. I thought he had a bit more in that. He's actually only level 11 too. Era, who bought back in the last fight and died, is actually a higher level than the mid. Level 12 compared to Supreme's level 11.
Yeah, I mean, that's when it's been just a rough game. There's a Void Spirit, Supreme just not finding those opportunities to make the moves. This stage, a lot of tanky, elusive heroes. Chessie, Aghanims is just 1,000 gold away. That's going to be a hero that you're just not killing.
Yeah, Jibbe halfway to Aghanims too. Solar Crest too built up as well. Yeah, they've got just so many tools at their arsenal, and they're just waiting. They don't need to rush anything. They just need to wait for the Roche to spawn, and then they just go for Roche, and it's it's all forced on NiP. NiP has to try to fight around that Roche, which they do have decent ways to do it with like Hawk with the egg, but there's also so many ways that 5-man has to just take that egg out of the fight.
Yeah, they have got single target NiP, but no real sort of big AoE stun to really complement the egg bearer. It's just not there. You're able to sort of catch a hero in the red or the raw, but someone's going to get a free pass at just killing that supernova. Supernova's going to go down.
Unless they're in the worst position ever for like double cask bounces, right? They don't have the great cover for it. And they're smoking actually up to the high ground for the fight.
Death going in onto Pi. Won't be enough damage to kill the Undying, and he will subsequently lose his own life.
They're trying something here. They want to try to force a fight before that rush because they know the inevitable is going to happen as soon as it spawns, and it's 5 seconds. Misery just peeps in there to check it out. It doesn't spawn yet. But when it does spawn, it's going to die so fast to this lineup because all their minus armor. And Supreme actually even being bullied here. Shibe playing super aggressive.
Just such a tough game to play for Supreme when he's this far behind. He's having to constantly play a game of running away. Towards the top. Saberlight was able to reclaim the outpost. Misery's in with the TP. Saberlight looking to turn, but the Shackle's there just in time to stop. Saberlight getting the raw onto Ace. The Supernova's out. Ace running inside this Supernova. It's going to clip the two of them. It's going to work. They're going to be able to find Pi. They'll be able to find Ace's work. Saberlight's back, but Ace is dead. Misha will forward. Chessie and Zibek looking to try and get the cleanup in return. There's the jump forward to the Infest. They burst out Misery. They have killed off 3. Can NiP get more this. They're looking over towards Jesse and Sibet as Charlie is focusing down the starter. Highlight Dice headed over to try and help, but Jesse, they're taking him out. NiP, they're somehow doing it. They're winning this fight big time. I mean, Dibe still trying for a cleanup. Doesn't quite get brought up to the cliff. So what Charlie and Supreme can do here. Zibe looking to finish up Supreme, but he's got another Dissimulate. Will finally fall as Zibe gets the kill with the Shikuchi. Now just down to him and Charlie. Charlie, he's not going to want to take this fight. Also the TP out. All things said and done. And there for NiP. There's multiple heroes dead on 5 men, including a dive from Highlight Die. And Saberlight, he's just gone and found Zibe. Zibe.
Dire's bottom tower.
Dust came out a little late as Zibe able to move out to the side. I mean, even if so, they had the vision anyway for the summons. They just didn't have the damage. Didn't matter either way. Zibe so elusive with the movement speed. But yeah, fight where NiP they've got something to write about there. They get themselves a good amount of kills.
Yeah, good positioning there from them. They Ace uses Manta to kind of, you know, get away from the roar for a second, you know, dodge the animation, but then it actually catches him in a weird position where he doesn't have Manta to get off these open wounds, and he gets gets caught inside of the egg explosion, gets focused down. Decent fight there for NiP, but they can't turn it into anything. And now I look at the, you know, 5 men, they're draft, they don't need to wait for anything. They're like, oh, egg is on cooldown now, and roar was just used. Well, egg was on cooldown. Roar is on cooldown. They can just go and fight again. They don't need to worry.
Yeah, they're gonna go for the Roshan option. They know they can take it very quickly. I mean, NiP's got to look for a steal here. This is a bit of an opportunity now. If 5 men do try and commit for the Roche rather than for a team fight, maybe there's an opportunity for NiP to swoop in with the dive, step in, and get the Aegis steal. They're definitely they're going to want to continue to mess with 5 men around us. They don't want to let 5 men get this for free, but it is a risky fight to take. Dive in.
Egg's out.
Yeah, egg. Trying to take it off as Misery's trying to bring down the egg. Has he got enough hits? No, he hasn't. Misery cannot kill the egg off in time. Misery was alive. Chester's coming with a full out run. Silence comes out. Saberlight's a bit focused, but he turns. He gets the ball off onto Jesse. Jesse being burst out by the submarine. They've lost the Weaver as well. Radiant got Rosa for the Aegis of Cheese. Charlie's able to go in and he picks up both of them. NiP, they get both the Aegis of the Cheese. Ace is dead. I can't believe it. I can't believe they're doing it again. 5 men. Game 1 looked to be theirs. Game 2 looked to really be theirs. But NiP, they're doing it. They're doing it somehow, Fog. They're absolutely doing it. They're still down 7k. But you look at the way these fights have just played out, and you sort of ask yourself, we sort of seen a repeat where, for whatever reason, there's a sort of magical minute in a game where 5 men, they just sort of lose it. They just sort of lose the plot.
Tower has fallen.
Nothing can happen in communication in the fight with them, because Misery committed for the egg. It only has 2 minutes left. They don't have AoE lockdown, right? We talked about it's just the cask, really, that they have to worry about. I feel like they could have killed that egg.
They absolutely
They all unified.
They need one other hero. It was just Misery on it, no one else.
Radiant's top tower has fallen.
And then it sets them up into a weird spot, because Eric gets the egg pop, it catches on everyone, and then he's in a beautiful position on high ground to get a sunray on everyone.
And midnight Chelsea is going to find the Witch Doctor. Look for the Shackle on Supreme, but they won't get the latch. Chester taking a lot of damage here, but he's got the backup now. The rest of 5 men coming in. A 4 from error onto the wall. Then Charlie, he's going to look to focus and finish down the tower. Now going to TP out. The rage, it hit. That's not going to save him. He gets bashed. He's into the zombie. Oh,
he's in the zombie.
He's into the zombie.
Look at him go.
Oh, look at it. Look at it go. He's in the zombie. He's out of the zombie. He's able to turn that with the Axe time. That saved there on the Chessie. Zibe's able to get Chessie out of the action. But some lovely action there of Charlie as he's able to live another day there thanks to the support of the undead.
I love when I see people infest into like the swarm, the Weaver swarm, or you see it into the zombie. Those are my 2 favorites.
I'll be honest, what the hell happened? I don't think I've ever seen that before. I've never even seen that. Infesting a zombie. And I bet you there's a lot of people watching at home, they would never even try that. But now you know. I want to see you all infesting zombies tonight.
In the past, like when the infest used to work the other way based on heal, that was like the worst. Could you pop on your back? Oh my god, I healed nothing, but infest definitely being good.
I mean, so what, are there any other sort of cool things to infest? What's your favorite?
The beetles from Weaver.
Infest the beetles. You can infest the beetles.
Yeah.
Dude, that could be sick. I mean, those beetles, they run pretty fast, right? You send the beetles out, and you jump in, and you're traversing terrain, and they're never going to expect it. That's amazing. I want to see it. That's awesome. I mean, and now it's just a 5k difference. You know, every single fight we're seeing It's ready to go again. See what they can find it, Chesty. I mean, it's a good death war, but again, the Axe time, it's always going to be huge. It's going to be a very solid save that Zibbe's able to offer. They get the first silence. Charlie, shackle shot as well from Misery, catching on to two of them. They take down Lifestealer once. They do it a second time. Green turn, with the taunt, they've got the Supernova out. Zibbe, caught in the stun by the paralyzed behind the bounces as well. Back over to Zibbe, he's bashed, the Supernova stuns out. Zibbe's dead. With the high ground, Ward's there straight away. On the way to Sunray, burning him down. Ace forces down to the low ground, will manage to get out of there. Misery and Chessie still on the run. Chessie's Maledict will keep him down low, not enough to kill him, or maybe it will actually see him back to the fountain. Is he going to have enough heals? Back on the map, he finds he's dead. Chessie dies. The damage was too much. The fountain heal didn't offset the amount of damage taken whilst being maledicted. It's now only 3k pops. They've lost this game. It feels early to call it, but the way that the last 5 minutes have played out, it's hard to sort of see 5 men fix this problem. They've just lost it all yet again for a second time this series, it feels. They've got to really get a hold of themselves.
It's really feeling that. I mean, Charlie's just ranked, I think, 3-5-0-10. He's just, like Q was saying, cool as a cucumber.
Charlie Lifestealer. I mean, and you've got to look back at how the position that this game was in and just really give credit to NiP, the way that they've managed to, just for a second time, crush this pretty sizable lead that 5 men were building up against them. There's a second time in the series, back-to-back, where NiP we don't care about your early game. You're going to make a mistake, we're going to punish it, and then you're going to make more, and we're going to make sure that you lose that entire advantage that you built up. And you really have. You know, the game is dead even across the board net worth. But you just only got to look at how much 5 men have lost for it to get to this position, and just how big Charlie is. I mean, the Charlie lifestyle, it really did do it in game 1. This game was a lot harder because he didn't have the power, but he is absolutely doing it again. He's pulling it off in a game that is not easy to do so.
Everyone has finished up almost a item or more on the side of NiP. That's a show. And then you look at like the graph, right? Net worth, like you said, was even. Experience was at almost 12 to 15,000 in lead. For 5 men. They almost had a 15,000 experience lead, and it's all the way down to almost 5 for NiP. I mean, win percentage was up above 90% for them. That just shows how massive it was. It still has them as a winning percent game, but somehow NiP with some fights.
Yeah, this has got to be a real tough position for 5 men to be in, because this is the second time they've been in it right. You know, sure, you've had one game, you have a big lead, it all falls away from you, but if that's happening for the second time in a row, you know, it's got to be tough right now, and sort of the chat of 5, they've got to keep their cool, as this is a rough position to be in for a second time back to back.
Charlie's huge too. Fresh BKB, so he's going to be just like 20-something seconds of just immunity.
Chessie, Supreme has got the Shiva's guard, so a lot of protection. Bugs still out.
In the zone. Tombstone right there. They want to reset.
Misery. Oh, it's good shackle onto Charlie, but he's got the follow-up. Save lights in with the Gorge. Get away looking for the Weaver. Supernova's out as well. Zibbe's going to get the chance. Time out. Spin bash. He's going to go down. He's going to try and put the ult. They do manage to take down the egg, but they've lost Zibbe. Ace, he's got to run. Charlie turns over towards Pylight Eye. Eats away at him incredibly quickly. Pylight Eye falls over towards Chessie. They go Chessie. Pops down the pond. He's trying to escape. There's double buybacks coming out from the side of Pylight. Zibbe trying to get him to be able to help out his team. Chessie will be safe. The Axe timeout from Zibbe coming into play as he keeps his Slardar alive. They'll try and chase towards Supreme. Supreme is running. He has been hit by the corrosive haze. They've got the physical damage to take him out. Supreme will fall. Nisha's out with the Ghost Scepter TP. No magical to claim his life before he's able to get out. So they are able to at least get back in, get the kill on Supreme. Era did die during the Supernova, but they're having to use buybacks for it. There's 2 buybacks coming out from 5, and they really need to get something more done with this, because if they don't, you just can't help but to feel that even though they brought back and get those kills, it's still them continuing to slip further and further behind.
And they just lost a ton of map control because of that. Get these aggressive wards down now for NiP, and like you said, you know, double buybacks, and look where your lane positioning is. Look how they just immediately when they buy back and as the fight ends, they just go straight to side lanes. They know they have to push these lanes out as far as possible because of where they had to take that fight. Not a great position for them there. And they actually can get caught out on the side lanes here if they push too far forward. We see top, they're ready. From Infest on Saberlight. Roar is ready. Chessie.
A very dead Slardar. And it really does feel like we've just seen this before. We've saw this all before. You know, once things start to go downhill, and pretty severely downhill for 5men. It just seems that today they're just not a team that's able to really pick themselves back up after losing such an advantage in a game.
Yeah, they're because of the way that the game works too. Is like their lineup, it is like this kind of snowball lineup because they have Drow. And if you look, they don't have the craziest team fight heroes on their draft. It's really just that Tombstone, and around the Slardar is just bulkiness. Now that NiP have all this gold and everything, give it to them. You know, Phoenix level 18, your Witchhawk level 17. You actually have very strong team fight just from your natural heroes. When they now also start building up some items and levels too. So these straight team fights for 5 men are just infinitely more difficult than they were 10 minutes ago.
Yeah, they couldn't sort of come out on top when they were 10k ahead. You know, what's to say that they're actually going to be able to do so where they're now, you know, they're 1k behind, you know, already reaching towards an 11k gold swing that we've seen in this action. And yeah, I mean, just shot, he continues to get bigger and bigger. This Abyssal Blade, just 1,000 gold away. You know, then life does become a real nightmare for Ace on the Drow. And regardless of the start he had, this Drow was so far ahead of anyone else in the game. He's still very farmed, Ace, but just hasn't really been able to have the opportunity to pop up in the fights as he was able to do so when they were at such a lead.
Yeah, and they're just on the back foot now. Look, they make a smoke out, but it's an obvious one. Look, there's creeps in your base. They just want to try to get up and set up for some bounty runes here, but NiP knows this is happening. They all back up, they play together. They're going to play on their side, get their own bounty runes, play safe. Because look, yeah, the creeps are in the base. You know that 5 men was trying to make some type of smoke move there.
Bounty.
And now they can move together. They got the book summoned up to clear out some of the vision in the wards. They're going to take out that fresh one that Pylai placed, and now they're going to confirm that all 5 men is up here. The 5 men, they have to back away. They don't want to take a head-on fight anymore. They want to try to catch and get some type of number advantage.
We'll see. In terms of the timings around this Roche as well. When things are really going to kick off once more for both of these sides. I mean, I doubt we're going to see an attempt from 5 men to take it without dealing with NiP first. We saw that be the first real issue from them when the swing round really did start to kick in when they went for the Roshan whilst NiP were up. You know, I guess just feeling that they were strong enough to do so with the lead that they had, but we've seen NiP showing that they're a team not to be written off, even when they are down a lot of gold, still able to come out with some very nice plays in these team fights and getting the work done. You know, Error with the egg, despite there being a lot of ways to, you know, a lot of ranged heroes working against him. Last few times with the Supernova, it really has done it. Just offered that big team fight capability that, as you say, is just not really matched by anything on 5 men.
Yeah, and I've seen actually like so many times in this game now, it's just a Sunray and uninterrupted. Yeah, it's like a 5 seconds or 4.5 second Sunray just blasting right through 3 heroes, and there's no way the 5 men can actually stop it once they unleash. Like a Wind Ranger Shackle is used, Stun from Slardar is used, Gust is used, and then Era's like, I got free reign. There's no other disables.
I mean, NiP's thinking about having a bit of a tickle at the Roshan.
Yeah, they pushed their lanes in pretty deep. They had bottom forced in with double catapults. Mid is pushing in too, so they're starting to poke it.
So what they're going to do, check. Starting to set up the puddles.
This little bug, look at how strong it is. I mean, Roshan's just trying his damn hardest, but...
Oh. Free curry there on the side. Being able to take that out of the step. Yeah. I mean, what do you do if you're 5 men here? Do you just run in the pit? Well, what's the play? You wait until it's locked.
Oh god, it's so hard. They have to.
Where do you go?
They have to be able to catch these back heroes, but right now they're not even looking. I don't think they have a smoke on them. They don't have a smoke on them. Yeah, they just have to kind of watch right now. I'm curious. Maybe they're just gonna go for a hopeful steal. Then they're gonna accelerate.
They're gonna try and jump in straight away. Radiant, do you get the kill on Roche? Chessie, was he able to pick up anything? No, Aegis has already been grabbed by Charlie. Chessie, looks of it, didn't get either. Was saved by the Aghanim Stein. That's got him out of there. So at least they get the kill on Roche. Nothing taken away, but Ags was picked up. One to the cheese.
Cheese, that's what I was looking for. I can't find the cheese. I didn't click the top fight recap thing in time to see if someone like popped it and like or killed it or something.
Yeah, maybe got popped or denied in the sort of chaos of that.
Didn't quite get to see. I just watched who picked up the Aghanims, and it was the Phoenix. Well, but Phoenix has it.
And then they go for the grab, and the silence, and the Abyssal. Is it enough? It is. Zippy's out and down for 100. Overfly back on him. Chessie's still trying to make a go at it, but he's outnumbered. It's 5 versus 4. Chessie's just going to die for this as well. As
he got controlled by that whole fight.
I mean, it's proving to be just a tough game now for the mid slider. You know, when sort of things do start to fall behind. Chessie's trying to get in on the front lines, but when you have this axe and not quite the BKB, it's still just the kiting and still just the overall damage, as you say, from Eren is so rare. It's enough to kill even the tankier of Slardars.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to comment a lot about that because of like the snowball factor all happened. He went for Axe and then they lost the fight, and now it's like, oh my god, he looks kind of silly because he doesn't have BKB in these last few situations, but it's just because they've lost every fight afterwards because of it. That rush. NiP looking to clean things up here. Jesse?
Comes with a buyback. Shackle, not to latch on Supreme. And they're happy to chill in NiP. I mean, they know right now that they've managed to get themselves in a very comfortable position. They're up 14k. We've seen over a swing of 20,000 golden XP this match by this side. And as I say, just NiP, I mean, hats off to them for being a team that really did keep them cool despite how far behind they got in both of these games. Top lane, Supreme, able to jump away just in time there. The 4 of them trying to go on him, but they didn't have enough damage to control. He's out of there. But yeah, NiP showing us. I mean, this really is to me as well the sign of a solid team, a team that can reliably just turn games around. And NiP, they're showing that they've turned up today with the ability to do that.
I'm always concerned when I do see like 2 back-to-back lane devastations like that, but the fact that they can like persevere and actually somehow turn around, especially in this game where it looked way worse.
It looks over. It really did.
It looks really
did. I think
I don't know. They've done somehow.
They really have. 16k lead. I mean, it's going to take something pretty wild for this one to swing around again, it feels like.
Yep.
And as we've seen in this series, it hasn't been 5 men. You know, they haven't been the side to be the ones to pull out the comeback. But NiP, the masters are playing behind.
Yeah, now they're 2 racks down, so it's just that much harder. There's a flicker on Lifestealer too, so you can play around these annoying silences and disables.
Yeah, I mean, it's quite nice. I mean, that dispel, the low cooldown, and the fact that you're always going to have the Abyssal to jump back in after you can be positioned wherever it takes you. It actually works very well.
Actually godly versus Slardar. Literally just can never be corrosive again. You just flicker it immediately. Like, that's actually pretty sick. All right. Flicker one of the best items, of course.
Obviously, the counter would have been a Chessie, but had 25, but it just hasn't been snowballing. He's only level 21 on this Slardar right now. Yep. The way things have fallen out of control.
And now they're just waiting. Yeah, top lane, you see it's pushing in, or pushing out for 5 men right now, but eventually these lanes are all just going to force in, so NiP, they're just chilling.
I think and they can do so. They really can. Charlie is just that big, he's that close as well to his next item. Scardy's getting to the point where he's running out of slots. I mean, maybe that's it, the Charlie Lifestealer. You know, it seems to be a carry that, we're absolutely seeing why in both of these games, and it's just a real sort of statement as well that Charlie is showing us such a confident performance again in this game too, without the need of the empower. Something that I'm sure a lot of people may have sort of written him off for in game when they were like, okay, they won a few fights, he had empower. And this game he's that farmed without any sort of boosting mechanism. 25k gold on this Lifestealer. This is some excellent stuff from Charlie.
Yeah, he's definitely owning. Switch the build up. He's going MKB. Now he doesn't have to. He saw the butterfly. I assume there's also a Wind Ranger. So this is just the ace in the hole. It feels for NiP. Time for them to close this one out, as they do still have. Actually, Aegis is getting reclaimed right now, but I do think they're strong enough even without it.
See what players to be made. I mean, Charlie's like, oh, thank goodness that Aegis is gone. I can finally hold all my items. The farm that he has, he'll be ready to go against the butterfly of the drought.
They're getting the whole map. They're just farming everything and 5 minutes farming nothing. They can't go outside. They have to just watch these waves get pushed in and then farm them. But yeah, they're not acquiring much of anything. They've actually just been on the same items, everybody, since that big turnaround. Yeah. Like last 12, 14 minutes or so. It feels like everybody's just been stuck. Ace has gotten the butterfly and Misery has finished. He had MKB for a while now, but he's gotten like 3,000 gold. But yeah, the other heroes are very deprived. Yeah, they're farming. Look, Misha's like, all right, I'm hitting level 20 in the jungle right now on Witch Doctor. This just feels good.
Dire are scanning.
Farming it up.
In 5 men, you just have to play the waiting game. Can you leave the base? At this point, do you leave the base? Is that the best chance you have? I mean, we've got smokes being picked up by Pi.
You need to get something. Like they have to have a ward outside and try to see when NiP is split, because they cannot do a 5-on-5 fight unless they somehow kill someone instantly and then it turns into a 4v5. There's no way. They have to get a pick off before a fight starts. So I think maybe camping a ward if they want to try something like that. But even then, it's scary and risky. No, farming. I got 30 seconds to like bounties. I got DD pushing up next item. You know, NiP is just they're cruising. Smoke for the bounty. Try to catch him off guard.
Yeah, it doesn't look like they'll find anything. I mean, only the Witch Doctor was around, but Misha's already out of there.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
They'll at least able to get 2 bounties in a game where they are have their whole map taken away from them. No kill to be found, and they'll have to abruptly make their way back to the bases. They're going to need to prepare for the defenses. NiP, they're ready to start looking for that final set of racks.
Every time NiP sees like heroes missing off the map and creeps into the base, all 5 connect. They were all split up, and then all 5 of them just conjoined very quickly. Poke on the high ground. Side lane's pushing in. They're like, they smoked out. They probably put their 1 ward down here, so they're gonna go probably de-ward that one momentarily.
Just still playing safe here. And NiP not feeling the need to rush things. Roshan, is it going to be a longer respawn? It's going to be a bit of a longer respawn. So yeah, if they want to be super chill, NiP can wait for that.
Bounty.
Just waiting for the opportunity. Sablight's constantly just ninja geared right outside the base, looking for some type of jump.
And they're closest to big items. I mean, Scream as well, very close to level 25.
I love Flicker on carries, honestly. It's just Flicker every time. It's not fun. Walk up.
Especially with this build, you know, just with Rage and the Flicker and the BKB, it's just so much that Charlie can do to just allow him to get away with that. You know, he didn't have anyone around. He can head up, he can hit the tower. He knows that they just can't kill him. So, you know, in any sort of reasonable amount of time, there's always going to be opportunities for the rest of the team to reach him and offer backup, even if they're on the other side of the map, with how long Charlie can just stay alive with these items. Yeah.
I want Saberlight to buy something though. He's at like 5,000 something gold on it. He's just literally playing the ninja gear. He's just running around.
What's he doing? Spend your money. I mean, he's got a solar crest queued up. I'm guessing with this sort of money, but he's probably even thinking about buying something bigger. But yeah, he's got money to spend, and he's gonna grab a gem. All right, at least time to spend some of the dollar. And I mean, they've got the couriers out. I think they are just gonna wait here for Roche. Take it slow.
They're just waiting for Roche. Yeah, pick up the next items. Close this one out as a 2-0 rather than risking anything. They're about to have like a lot of items finished up too. Almost 25 Void Spirit, Arcane Rune. Like, it's gonna get insane.
And you can't blame those as well. You know, NiP they have been having a tough time at a lot of their recent performances, tournaments that we've seen. They want to make sure they don't make the mistakes that they've been making before. Charlie will be saved. Supreme jumps in. He's hit the 25, so he's got that stun on. The similar height. We jump out to the side here.
Radiant's middle
They'll get themselves out of there. What's he got?
That's a full agonist on Witch Doctor coming out too. Hell yeah, Misha.
Oh yeah. Time to look at it go, ladies and gentlemen. of the dream. When you play the old witch doctor. Has he got the talents?
He did not. He took the other ones, but it's okay.
Hey, what is sort of the standard for pros? Do they always take the 2 Maledict talents? Or is it pretty 50-50?
It's very varied. It's very varied.
Yeah. Because, yeah, I mean, just go full on the Maledicts this game. And I like
20 talents.
True support probably should.
Yeah. The 20 talent, the death ward attack range is great. It's only 100. Like, you probably always take them out.
I mean, that's true. 15% is a sizable increase, especially with the way
really
that Maledict just works anyway. 15% on that already, and what could become incredible amounts of burst.
Yeah,
that's a big bump up.
Roche will die very quickly. Let's see if they can actually make it in time to contest.
They're not getting here in time. Unless Jesse goes now. Oh, he's got to go. Is he going to go? He went a little.
Got the refresher shot.
And he gets out. What did he manage to steal?
Refresher shot, just that.
Right. Have they got any great refresher shot heroes? No. Well, they got the tombstone.
Double tombstone. Let's go.
Might need it. Here's the fight. Gonna occur. They're jumping onto Jesse. Supernova down on the high ground. Broken actually trying to get rid of another one. Supernova is going to be successful though as it flips onto pretty much all of them. Zibe hit by the silence from Supreme with that resistant pulse. Zibe goes down. Charlie's only going to be getting popped for cheese. He's able to close the gap, get on top of Ace. Ace trying to run. They're healing him up. Pushing back. Charlie, he's still staying on the target. Panic might finish it. Tried his best and will do it. Ace goes down. Ace does not have buyback. Jesse will also be chased out. Did buyback for this. But Jesse's out as well for nearing 2 minutes of slaughter. Comes back in, dies back. This should be NiP able to clean this one up as they head straight into the base. Already outside of the fountain. Supreme starting to have a poke with them. Will look to push them away. Zibe's got buyback. But without their slaughter, without their drought, unlikely they can really put a stop to NiP closing this one up as the second tier 4 will fall. Shackle does latch to jump step with the Abyssal Blade straight away onto Zibe. Forced to sign an attempt to save him, but Zibe will fall. Misery's out as well. They'll all go down on 5 men. And NiP, they've done it again. They've done it again. And with that, the series is theirs. They may have lost to fight in recent times in some of the qualifiers for previous tournaments. They were struggling against this squad in the best of 3s, but here today they've turned up and 2-0. Both games where they lost the laning stage, but that they just swung it.